Hi there, this is Mike King. I'm a course author and instructor at Berklee Online, and I'm here with Roger Brown, who's the president of Berklee, and Debbie Cavalier, who's our vice president of online learning and continuing education. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things today, primarily focused on a big announcement, which is our degree programs, which we're going to be launching. So Debbie, I imagine some people that are watching today might not be familiar with the online school, and I think it would make sense to kind of give a little bit of a introduction of the online school, what we've done, some of the students we have, just give a little bit of a picture about where we're at and kind of where we're going.
Sure, that sounds great. So Berklee Music was established in 2002 as a way to expand the reach of the college and provide music education opportunities to a global base of musicians who can't move to Boston but would like to have access to Berklee. So in 10 years' time, we've taught over 30,000 students. This year alone, we'll teach 13,000 students. And our students are just incredible. They come from all walks of life. They represent all facets of the music industry. I'll give you a few examples. We have students that are touring in bands that we listen to every day. The bass player in the Dave Matthews Band, Stefan Lessard, is taking a lot of courses with us.
And Trey Anastasio from Fish.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
yes. Annie Clements from Sugarland, Nick and Amy from Carmen. And then we have stories like this family from Venezuela. The father's a Venezuelan farmer, and the son just applied and got accepted to Berklee here in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother and sister are taking courses with us now in Berklee Online so that they can support his career after he graduates.
Yeah.
So they're taking music business courses. They're studying with you, right?
That's right. Susie.
Yeah. Susie.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I was just at NAMM, and you see the people. I rarely interact with them in person, but it's amazing. I had some of them come to my NAMM talk, and it was just outstanding to see the people that were there. As you say, it's like all over the industry.
Yes. Yeah, and the stories are incredible. We have had soldiers deployed in Iraq studying with us while they're overseas, and yeah, the list goes on and on. Teachers and aspiring musicians, and also people who we've got a lot of instances of doctors and lawyers and surgeons who always wanted to go to Berklee and their parents wouldn't let them, so now they are with Berklee Online, which is great. Our courses are 12 weeks in length, fully accredited by NEASC, the same accrediting body that accredits Berklee proper. Mm-hmm. And we have certificate programs, so the courses are bundled together in programs of study. Mm-hmm. And the courses and programs represent all areas of music instruction, production, business, orchestration, songwriting. We've got lots of performance courses in guitar, drums, and bass, improvisation. And then we've got a lot of core music studies, theory, harmony, ear training, arranging. The list goes on. And we've been recognized for the quality of our courses. So for eight years in a row, the University and Professional Continuing Education Association has given us the Best Online Course Award at the college level, which is incredible.
It's unprecedented.
Yes, yes. It's a real tribute to our faculty who have created these courses, our staff who have helped that, and our students, because the online course experience is so rich, so collaborative, so much communication that happens, and it's all about the students engaging with each other, learning from each other, and their instructor. So it's been incredible, a wonderful 10-year run, and now the future is just so bright with the online degrees.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yes.
So, Roger, there's a ton going on right now in education and online education, and MOOCs are a trending topic. So I wonder if you could give a little bit of a kind of a state of the union as you see education right now and online education.
Well, I think the whole notion of a physical place that people from around the world come to study is still a viable concept, and there'll probably always be 4,000 people who want to come to Boston to study at Berklee. But part of what we're exploring is the power of online education to allow people in remote corners of the world who can't get to Boston or who have jobs, who have families, to study with us. And it's not a new idea. We had correspondence courses in the 50s, and Chucho Valdez from Cuba, and Michelle Camilo from the Dominican Republic, and Alf Clausen, who now writes the music for The Simpsons.
And Gary Burton.
They all studied with us through these correspondence courses where you'd mail them out to them and they'd mail their assignments back. So it's not a new idea, it just happens a lot faster and more efficiently.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you think of the university as an ivory tower, maybe this is a conversion of the ivory tower into the ivory lighthouse, so that we can not only have the people in the lighthouse benefiting, but we can shine the light out to lots of people all over the world. And I actually think that higher education is going to go through a sea change as we figure out how to make this as effective as possible, how to take some of the cost out of the system so it's less expensive for people, because it's unaffordable for lots of people to get a private higher education, especially in the U.S. So I'm very excited about what it means, and I'm really proud of what you all have accomplished. It really is amazing. In 10 years, it's the largest online music school in the world by far, won all these awards. The students I meet just tell me how great the courses are and how great the faculty are. So we've done a lot, but we're just getting started. Now there's this phenomenon called MOOCs, massive open online courses, that are free. So you don't get the 1:15 or 1:16 ratio of people in the class to a faculty member that you get with our online school, Berklee Online, but you do get lots of peers and you get a lot of information, and it's free. It's hard to beat that. So we have 4 courses we've developed for Coursera, and we have 140,000 people signed up already. Introduction to guitar, introduction to improv, music production, songwriting. So it's an exciting and brave new world, and typical of Berklee. When the electric guitar came out, we didn't say, oh, what's that strange instrument? We said, let's teach it. When music technology happened, we said, let's embrace that. We now teach turntablism. I think we may be the only accredited college in the world that does. Our idea is if young people are using it to make music, that's where we want to be. In fact, we say we don't want to curate music, we want to create music. We don't want to be a conservatory, we want to be a laboratory. So it's all about trying to be forward thinking and give people the tools to make the music they want to make.
Something that Debbie and I have talked about just with the online school is we have a suite of offerings, and you mentioned MOOCs and Coursera. And for us, that's kind of our free offering. People get to look inside what we're doing, and we have the single courses and we have the certificate programs. We're going to be offering degrees, and then there's the physical school. So can you talk a little bit about, you have a pretty good metaphor about the kind of the suite of offerings that are available.
So think of a wedding cake, where the bottom of the wedding cake is Coursera and MOOCs. And 140,000 people are already signed up. We haven't even started yet. So that allows people in Beijing and in Sri Lanka to sample what we do. And if they're really good, maybe they want to do more. Maybe we find opportunities to either bring them to the campus or get them involved in the more formal online school. The next layer of the cake would be sort of just take a course online and see what it's like. We have a K-12 program for high school, middle school kids called Berkeley City Music, and it has an online component called Pulse. That reaches about 20,000 young people in the U.S. who live in inner cities and might not get that opportunity otherwise. And then we have this very cool campus, both here in Boston and one in Valencia, and we recognize that not everybody's going to be able to get there, but if you can, it's really an amazing experience. So if you imagine that wedding cake, we want to be strong at all those layers. And we want to try to think of the person who's with us in the massive open online course, or what does he or she need? How do we deliver that to them? So the work we're doing is pretty cutting edge, and we're proud of it, but we're not naive. 10 years from now, we're going to look back and think, oh, I can't believe how primitive that was. But we always want to be the ones in the leadership role.
So maybe we can transition into the big news, which is online degrees.
Yes.
It would be great if you can kind of walk through, what our offerings are going to be and a little bit about how that works.
Okay. So we're going to be offering an extension degree, which is called a Bachelor of Professional Studies. And the 2 initial majors that we'll be offering are music production and music business. So I'm very excited about this extension degree because it offers a lot of flexibility to students. You really can carve out a program that makes sense for your career path, for your goals. I'll walk through the credits, the way it breaks down. So like all undergraduate accredited bachelor's degrees, there's 120 credits that students need to earn, or transfer some in and earn others. It'll be case by case for our students. So 30 credits are core to the major, required courses. Another 15 are recommended electives that are relevant to the major. And then we'll have 15 credits that are core music. So theory, harmony, ear training. Students will take a placement test and be placed accordingly in those courses. And then there's this notion of specialized electives. And that's where the student can really carve out their path, almost like a minor. So you might be a music business major, but also really pursuing a songwriting career. So you could carve out 18 credits from our songwriting courses. it's very exciting. We have students that come to us with varied backgrounds and interests, and this degree type will really be able to cater to their needs.
One of the tragedies is there's so many young people around the world who have 20, 40, 60, 80 credits that they've earned and paid for and have no degree.
Yeah.
And it's still true that in the U.S. you're twice as likely to be employed, and you're likely to earn $1 million more in your lifetime if you have a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that's cool about this is if you have credits that are relevant to the major, those can transfer, whether you went to USC or NYU or Berkeley or have Berkeley extension credits. So we think it's a way to actually help people who've already started that investment, but life got in the way, they had to move back to Albuquerque. Here's a chance to keep moving towards your degree, and it's a Berkeley extension degree, and it's going to be very high quality, and these two subjects, production and music business, are the ones that a lot of students seem to be very interested in.
It's true, it's true. And along those lines of transferring in, we will accept up to 60 credits to be transferred in, so a full associate's degree or certificate programs or credits that were taken at Berkeley or NYU.
So just to be clear, people that have taken courses with Berklee Online, Berklee Music right now, or certificate programs, a number of those credits can transfer into these degrees in 2014?
Absolutely, yes. As long as those courses align with the degree requirements, which they certainly will, and also a minimum grade point average is required. But yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity for people who have already taken online courses with Berklee Online or would like to. Yes. There are also the 40 credits in general electives, general education, liberal arts.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention that because we've really, I think, done a good job at crafting those courses to be relevant to a musician's needs. So under the liberal arts category, we have something called visual studies. So courses like digital cinematography and music video editing, so that students can release their music with a visual component and have the skills to do that, and it's so important to be able to do that these days. You
mentioned Carmen earlier, who
yes.
got to, great heights from what they did on YouTube.
That's
so
right.
We're teaching, in some ways, what Carmen has done, both from a music business standpoint and from a video standpoint.
Yes, I think that's important to note, that not only the skills to create those videos, but also how do you navigate the online world and promote yourself through your courses of online music marketing.
Well, it's fair to say that Berklee alums are the pioneers of this world.
Yes.
You've not only got Carmen, you've got Cy,
That's right.
you've got A.J. Raphael, you've got Charlie Puth, Emily Luther. A lot of the people who are figuring out how to make YouTube and visual media work for their music are associated with us. We're actually going to do a YouTube hack day on campus to try to get people up to speed on how to use those techniques.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are curious about financial aid.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I know, I'll let you talk about it. Financial aid as it pertains to what we're currently offering and as it pertains to the online degrees. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure, sure. So our current offerings are standalone courses and certificate programs, and we don't offer federal financial aid with those programs. And with the degree programs, we're working with the college's financial aid department to be able to offer federal financial aid for the bachelor's degree, the extension degrees. Yes, that'll be a nice thing for our students.
I'm going to take questions in a second here.
Okay.
I just want to get one kind of broad thing out there. Just your opinion on online education and how that is affecting education in general. Maybe just a little bit more about that.
The University of Padua was the first university founded sometime in the 1200s. And higher education is shockingly similar to what it was then. I think less so at Berkeley, much less so at Berklee Online. But there's a lot that's changed in the world, and there's no reason to think that higher education should be immune to that. So part of what we're doing is, in a way, we're disaggregating the educational experience and figuring out what really works. How do people really learn? And some of that is a motivated instructor who really cares about you and delivers information in a clear and effective way. Some of that is learning from your peers. Some of that is just having the motivation to do the work and the assignments, the projects. So we're trying to understand all those elements and back to the cake, put together a recipe that puts those elements together and bakes a really tasty cake of education. And I think we're, again, when a lot of people envision online education is they shoot a video of some professor lecturing at a blackboard. Man, that is so old school. We weren't doing that 10 years ago. So we are developing advanced tools that help people learn, and we're able to dissect what's working and what's not. If it's not working, we change it, we improve it. We get feedback from students. Students help each other. It's really a very powerful set of tools. So no doubt 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the state of being able to get people to learn and absorb information will have been accelerated dramatically.
It seems everything is accelerated with the internet. Just the life cycle of things are just quicker,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you can't even have an argument at dinner anymore.
Yeah.
Because people will just pull out their iPhone and say, well, let's Google and find out.
Yeah.
True.
In the old days, we could just be blissfully ignorant and argue forever, and now somebody can actually get the facts.
I long for those days sometimes. All right, so we have a ton of questions,
Okay.
and we've got about 12 minutes to go through some stuff here. You know, I think we've accepted this. Neil Harris is asking Roger and Debbie, will you be accepting credits from other colleges towards the degrees? And also, does Berkeley accept the Montgomery or post 9/11 GI Bill? So the first answer is yes. With
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will accept credits from a regionally accredited accrediting board. So NEASC, Middle States, all of those. If the institution is accredited, we will absolutely accept the credits if they were earned with a certain GPA, and if those courses align with the degree requirements. And all that information will be on our website very soon, the courses and descriptions and all of that. And our registrar will work with you, our advisors will work with you to carve out what's going to transfer and what you need to take.
Presumably general education or liberal arts
Yes.
would transfer more easily
Yes.
than like a major specific credit. But if someone had a credit that's part of the major, that might transfer as well.
Definitely.
Do we know the minimum GPA yet, or have we figured that out?
2.0. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, that seems reasonable.
Yes. Yes.
Does. So the part two, does Berkeley accept the Montgomery or post 9/11 GI Bill?
You know, I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that, and we'll post that in the FAQs.
Yeah. So just to let folks know, I know I mentioned it at the front, I'm going to talk about it again, berkeleymusic.com/online degrees. That's where you can go, give your email address. We'll be talking, sending out information as it becomes available and posting FAQs there. They're not there yet, but they will be soon.
If someone on our team knows, they can push that answer to you. But
And I do
Right.
know that we have a program with U.S. military where people can actually take some online courses from us currently. Is that right?
We do. We
Yes.
do work with different branches of the
Yeah.
military.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, someone asking, they're currently enrolled in a certificate program. Will the credits from the certificate program be transferable? The answer is yes.
yes.
Can I get a traditional federal student loan? The answer is
Yes.
yes.
Just say yes.
I know. I'm just going to try to find something that we haven't talked about. This is an interesting one. Will there be internships available for online students? And maybe this can open the conversation about, are there other things that we're thinking of offering along with the degrees?
Yes, we are working on a whole suite of student services, so career development resources, and Berkeley is very strong in all of that. So we're going to be tapping into the college's resources on that and making it available to our online students. We have an incredibly robust internship program. It's really impressive, and we'll be tapping into that with that department and making that information available soon. But yes, all of those things will be available.
And I think online students already have access to the gig board and some of those other tools.
Yes.
In fact, I think you all helped create that gig board.
Yes, we did.
We did.
And we have library resources. The same online library resources that are available to Berklee College of Music students are currently available to Berkeley Online students and will be for the degree programs as well.
You know, I could also say, just as an instructor, that when you're inside the online courses, I've seen people collaborate and then go out and start things.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so producers working with songwriters, or recently, two producers starting kind of almost like a 360 approach to moving forward in the music industry, a positive 360, where they know, because they've taken a bunch of courses, they know from recording, producing, to taking their music to market. So they started their own thing.
Wow.
So I mean, that is in there.
That's terrific.
Yes. Here we go. Will the degree courses still be 12 weeks long and up to 4 at a time? So
They will still be 12 weeks in length.
Yes.
Yes. And up to 4 at a time, does that mean how many they can
I
take?
think what they're saying is 4 terms a year.
Oh.
I think that's what, I believe that's what this means, yeah.
Yeah.
So Carmelo, if that's what you're asking, let me know. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, we'll still have four semesters per year. The start time, however, for the degree programs to actually matriculate into your program will likely be a fall start and a winter January start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that would just emphasize another point that's great about this is that if you have time,
Yeah.
you can take a super intensive semester. If you don't, you can just take one course. If you're in college and you have to drop out for summer, let's say you get a great gig and you're touring with a band, you can continue studying. So, you know, the life of a modern musician does not always allow you just to sit in one place for a long time. So this creates enormous flexibility. And I actually think some of the musicians who've studied with us on the road say it also keeps them out of trouble.
Yes.
They have something to do in their downtime.
True.
There's often a lot of downtime. So the idea that you can be learning something about orchestration that you wish you had known
Yeah.
Yeah.
is really a great asset.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of breaks up the tour dates, I think.
Yeah.
As you both know, Annie Clements, bass player in the touring band for Sugarland, plus all of the touring members, you know, took online courses, and I met them on their bus, and they're like, this is a godsend, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, this is how they spend their time while they're driving from location to location.
Yes.
Great. Carmelo has, he was asking basically if the structure will be the same. Right now I think we limit it to 4 courses per term. I think that's sort of we say that, but I think we're a little bit loose. So I think the question is, can someone take more than 4 courses if they want per term?
I think the answer to that is yes, if their schedule
Yeah.
will allow. But I think there are certain restrictions related to financial aid and what kind of load that will carry, and that information will be available very soon.
Somebody, this might be something to discuss. We're talking the wedding cake, and I like the idea of a wedding cake with a lighthouse on top. You know, but
Okay.
will
Really mixing our math.
right. Will there be master's degrees? So this is, I know, a bit of a larger conversation, but we should probably touch on this.
Imminently, no. The undergraduate professional studies degrees will launch in September 2014. Long term, what might happen? I don't know. I mean, could we someday offer a high school degree that has an intensive music focus? Could be. Could we offer something that allows people to actually make progress towards an on-campus degree before they get there? We're definitely going to do a Coursera course so people can prep. Anyone who's been admitted to Berkeley can get ready for harmony and ear training and the other courses before they get here. But we got our hands full just to get ready for the professional studies bachelor's.
Yes.
So that's really where all the focus is.
Scott in New Hampshire, USA, has asked, what other majors can we expect in the future? So what other degrees are we thinking about down the line, or are there other degrees that are planned?
That's a great question. So we're going to get these first 2 off the ground, and then, as we have always done in our 10-year history, we want to know from the students, what do you need? What do you want? We have a very popular orchestration category, so I suspect that something in the composition orchestration area might be a direction that we go in. But we're going to be asking our students what they need.
That one, I feel, though, the answer is a fairly safe yes. We will be offering other degrees.
Yes.
Not exactly sure what they are. We'd love to hear from potential students. Like, what would you want from us that would be meaningful to you?
You know, I think one thing we're going to do, if people go to berkeleymusic.com/online degrees, is survey.
Yeah.
You know, what is it that you guys want?
And that's part of the genius that you all have employed. And again, part of the genius of an online educational system is you've got these tens of thousands of people who studied with you, and you can very easily ask them, what would you like next?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the tools we're developing, which are not inexpensive, I think that's one thing people don't know about online education, is because we don't just sit in a classroom and videotape a professor lecturing, it costs us close to $100,000 to develop every one of these courses, just one individual course. But it's worth it because it's so powerful in terms of the pedagogy that it brings. So we don't want to develop a course if people don't want it.
Right.
So this surveying really allows us to try to be on the mark.
Yep.
Yes.
A couple of folks have asked about scholarships.
We currently have a scholarship program for our certificate students. So if you are in a certificate program and have a minimum GPA of
I believe it's 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have successfully completed at least your first course in that program, you're eligible, and there's a process you can go through to ask your instructors for recommendations. And we've had that now for years and years.
Yeah.
Many
celebrity online scholarship
is
what we call it.
In the name of Gary Burton and Juan Luis Guerra and lots of folks. And so that's available now. And scholarships for the online bachelor's degrees, we have not figured that out yet, but I'm sure there will be something.
And not to get too philosophical, but part of my dream is let's say we have an unbelievably talented student in Mongolia studying with us who would love to come to the Boston or Valencia campuses. Maybe there's a way we could actually offer scholarships to those people if we just find exceptional people
Yes.
out in the world.
Yeah.
And give them an opportunity. We've already had that happen once with a young woman from Pakistan who studied
Really?
online
Yeah.
Yes.
and then came to the Boston campus on scholarship, and I think it was a happy outcome for all.
Yes.
She's a producer in New York now.
Yeah.
She's since graduated.
Yes.
So there's a lot we can do, but again, that's more speculative. I think your audience is asking the more practical
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
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 You know, I think we have to wrap it up. Let me just see here. If there are any last questions, post them now, please. And I'm just going to take one last look here. I was wrong. GPA for the Celebrity Online Scholarship is 3.7.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Doug.
So, yep, thank you, Doug. Yeah.
See, there's fact checking. We don't have to argue about it.
You could have just let it go.
Someone has the facts.
Okay. You know, I think we're going to wrap it up, and
Okay.
and we're just this is the third time, but you know, there is a page that is going to be developed with, you know, the answers to some of the stuff we haven't addressed, so that we're still figuring it out. berkeleymusic.com/online scholarships. There's something right now we're collecting.
Online scholar.
Online degrees.
Yes.
This is crazy. These lights are a little hot, you know. Online degrees, sorry. And you know, please give us your info and check back as we develop this. But I'd like to thank you, Roger, for being here. Thank you, Debbie, for
Thank you, Mike.
very articulately outlining
Yeah.
what we have going on.
Well,
I
the final
appreciate
thing
it.
I would say is that the new world of education is not one where we sit around and dream things up and we see if students like them. It's where we co-create education with our students.
Yeah.
So just the questions that were being asked are good questions, and we welcome other questions and input and even suggestions like, here's what would make this a home run for me.
Yeah.
So feel free to weigh in with your thoughts and
Absolutely.
suggestions.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and we view you as an essential agent in your own education. We're not here to educate you. We're here to welcome you into this family of people who are committed to learning and growing and being artists and performers and composers and songwriters and
Yeah.
engineers. So, you know, we all own this together, so we welcome input.
Absolutely, and things are shifting so much right now. So to hear back from people that are out there doing it, and this is what I need, you know, if we
Yes.
can offer that, is really valuable.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, thank you very much
Yeah.
for tuning in. And
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Make music.